Before we begin, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks for being part of the story. I would say this happened about 15 years ago. At the time, I was working as a salesman, which meant I spent most of my time on the road, traveling all over the country. Like many in this line of work, I used my own pickup truck to get around. Most of my days were often spent behind the wheel, driving from city to city to meet clients, deliver products, or pick up sample items. With a lifestyle like that, I often found myself on unfamiliar roads at odd hours, sometimes alone, sometimes exhausted, and always at the mercy of whatever the road might throw at me. Over the years, I've had my fair share of strange encounters, things I couldn't explain, things that didn't make sense no matter how much I tried to reason them out. One such incident happened during a work trip. A colleague and I had to travel to a city far away to meet a client. We left our office late in the morning and arrived in the early evening, making a few stops along the way. Once we got there, I met the client at the site. After finishing up the paperwork and wrapping up all the tasks, it was already around 6:30 p.m. At the time, the company hadn't arranged a place for us to stay, but that didn't bother me. I actually enjoyed driving at night when the air was cooler and the roads were quieter. So my colleague and I decided we'd drive back and spend the night at a friend's house who happened to live not far away. But just before we were about to leave, the client asked,
"You're really going to drive back now? Which route are you taking?"
I told him I was planning to skip the highway and take a more direct route. "I'm going to take the shortcut," I said. As soon as I said that, his expression changed. His tone turned serious. He gave me a warning.
If you're taking that road, remember two things. First, if you see anyone trying to wave you down, don't stop. Second, if there's anything blocking your path, just drive right through it.
Then he explained that he was a local and knew that road all too well. It was obvious he was talking about ghosts, spirits, supernatural stuff. But honestly, I was still pretty young back then and didn't take it too seriously. I wasn't the type to scare easily. Besides, I wasn't alone. I had a younger colleague riding with me. I just chuckled and told him I'd be careful. We left the site around 8 p.m. and headed down the road he warned us about. It was dark and narrow, with no streetlights at all. We didn't see another car the entire way. It was completely deserted. Not long after we turned onto that road, I saw a large tree ahead. What really caught our attention was the figure of a man. Only half of his body was visible, sticking out from behind the tree. Only his left side, his arm and leg, were clearly visible. It wasn't my imagination. The road was narrow with no shoulder, and the tree stood right by the roadside. There were no guardrails or anything blocking our view. The man was waving, motioning for us to stop. My colleague, who was sitting in the passenger seat closer to the figure, immediately tensed up. I could tell he was scared. I knew exactly what he was seeing. I tried to calm him down, and myself also. It's probably just someone trying to hitch a ride or just a crazy homeless man. Don't overthink it. Still, I was a little uneasy myself. Is this what the client had warned me about? We kept driving, passing the man without stopping. About 10 minutes later, a tricked-out pickup truck suddenly sped up from behind us and overtook us on the left. It had flashy accessory lights and customized wheels. As it passed, it gave 2 sharp honks. At that moment, some interior lights, probably from its sound system or flashing accessory lights, flickered for a second, lighting up the driver's face. That's when I got a good look at him. He wasn't moving. He was just staring straight ahead, completely still. His face was blank, expressionless. Back then, among young drivers, a quick pass accompanied by 2 sharp honks was often interpreted as a challenge, an invitation to race, especially if it came from a tricked-out car or, in this case, a pickup truck. I looked over at my colleague with a grin. Without thinking too much, I stepped on the gas and started chasing after the pickup truck. After chasing him for about 5 minutes, I saw a sharp curve quickly approaching up ahead. The pickup truck speeding in front of me turned into the bend. I followed close behind. But as soon as I entered the curve, something completely unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a police officer appeared, standing right in the middle of the road. He was blocking traffic and signaling for us to slow down. Startled, I instantly remembered something a client told me right before I left the site.
First, if you see anyone trying to wave you down, don't stop. Just drive right through it.
But now that I was actually in the moment, I hesitated. I wasn't so sure. What if the officer was real? The flashlight in his hand was waving clearly, motioning for us to slow down. I froze. I didn't know what to do. After a split second of indecision, I hit the brakes and brought the car to a complete stop just a few feet in front of him. Looking around, I noticed several orange traffic cones lined across the road. The officer walked up to my window. His voice was stern as he asked,
"Why were you driving so fast? Where are you rushing to?"
Still shaken, I stammered, I was following the pickup truck. I trailed off, not even sure how to explain what I had just seen. The more I tried to make sense of it, the less it made sense. But my attention quickly shifted back to the officer. Am I in trouble? All kinds of thoughts raced through my mind. Am I getting a ticket? Am I going to lose my license? If I couldn't drive, I'd lose my job too. Then it hit me. There had been a pickup truck right in front of me just before the curve. It had gone into the bend moments before I did, but now it was gone, completely vanished. Confused, I asked the officer, "There was a pickup truck ahead of me. You were blocking the road, so where did it go?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked,
"Do you remember what kind of truck it was, the color, the model?"
He went on to describe a specific make and color. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, that's the one." Still trying to understand, I pressed further. "So, where did it go? The road was blocked. How did it get past you? Or did you let it through?" Honestly, I was hoping that if he had let the other pickup truck pass, maybe he'd let me go too. But he didn't answer. Instead, he looked me in the eyes and said firmly,
"You're not going anywhere tonight. You'll be staying at the station with me."
That hit me hard. Was I in serious trouble? Being detained? Arrested? Part of me wanted to argue, to say it wasn't fair to stop me while letting the other driver go. But something told me to stay quiet. I didn't want to risk making things worse. And then, as if reading my thoughts, the officer added something that sent a chill down my spine.
"If you keep driving tonight, you might not make it."
His words stunned me. I didn't know what he meant, but something about the way he said it made me fall silent. He brought me and my coworker to a nearby police outpost. When we arrived, he quietly handed me a folder and said,
"There was no truck ahead of you. Not anymore."
I opened the folder. Inside were photos of the exact pickup truck I had been following. A chill ran through me. The pickup truck had crashed. It was completely totaled. It had skidded off the road, flipped, and killed the driver inside. The location of the crash? It was the very same curve where I had stopped, right before the officer. The same curve where the pickup truck I had followed had seemingly disappeared just moments earlier. As I stared at the photos, I felt the blood drain from my face. That's when I realized the pickup truck I had been chasing wasn't from this world. The officer explained that ever since that fatal crash, people had reported seeing a pickup truck, just like the one from the accident, speeding along that same stretch of road. Some even got into accidents trying to follow it. That's why the traffic police were stationed there, to slow people down and warn them. Too shaken to continue, my coworker and I stayed at the police outpost for the rest of the night. As it turned out, the police actually did us a huge favor by taking us to the station, preventing us from driving that night and possibly getting killed. If he hadn't stopped us that night, I might not be here to tell this story.